Hello, this is a Lighthouse Hall of Fame film in the European server with Sebastian Potachka and his Luchs again, joined up in a Luchs platoon. Sand River Assault Offense. So we're looking at this map from the opposite side of the normal entry. 3 artillery apiece, 3 scouts apiece. Teams are actually very well matched up, just a few minor differences in team composition. They have 2 extra mediums, the enemy has 2 extra TDs. Other than that, teams are really closely matched. And normally, since the changes, the favor of this map goes to the defense because of that middle ramp, but you don't always get a team on defense that tries to exploit it, and then you get the spot from up on this ridge and play it the old style way. So he moves up and starts passive spotting, and he'll stay here until somebody kicks him off of here. Spots are starting to show up as tanks move across the dunes off to the south. Most of his heavies are just moving into position yet. They're too far away to take advantage of the spots, but it never hurts to show your team where the enemy's setting up at. And once they see those spots, they're going to start shooting at them. There's 3 Arty back there that should be in place and ready to fire. That's going to start dropping lead down on their heads. And there's the first kill. And if their scouts don't move to this middle ramp, this is going to be a massacre. Because he has a lot of spots for his team to shoot at. And I don't doubt he's going to blow it by shooting at any of them. He is perfectly content. And now he will, because the guy's moving in. The Cromwell was coming in close enough to where he was about to proxy spot him. So he unloaded his clip on him and backed off. Whoa, nukes, don't hit each other. The Cromwell right now is really doing what his scout's job was, and that's get down there in the middle and spot for his team. And as much as you come up this ramp to spot the enemy team, you're doing it for vision control as well. You have to ensure that the offensive scouts aren't doing what Sebastian's doing right now, which is lighting up a whole bunch of your team's tanks and causing them to take damage. He's trying to see if he can sneak over the rim here and get a shot down at the Cromwell, but he's lit up, so he's going to back out. You have to remember as a scout that spotting, it's a two-way game. And it just as much as your job is to provide spots for your team, you have a concurrent mission to deny the enemy team the ability to spot your team. And in that regard, the enemy scouts are failing massively right now, because they've done nothing to prevent these 2 Luchs from lighting up their team over and over and over. And they're paying a price for it. And that doesn't mean you go suicide just to light up the scouts and say, hey, I lit them up, I kept them from spotting us. What it means is you pick positions on maps that allow you to spot the enemy team while also giving you a high degree of likelihood that you will spot enemy scouts in the process. Tried to get a little ram, got a couple points of damage, not enough to pick him off, but his team helps him out. 2 tank lead, He'll get to pull back up here and spot again. And it's going wide from a 2-tank lead, I'm pretty certain, once he gets up here. His allies are starting to overrun the east a little bit. They aren't even trying to attack on the western flank. He's moving in close where he can get penetrating shots. He's going to unload the clip. Now he has to stay away from him, which isn't a problem. Against the 150, he can circle him while he reloads, even backing up. Even in the sand and water backing up. Huge agility difference here between these two tanks. He's almost ready to go. He knew from his mini-map where the T-50 was, so he comes up out of the main ditch and pulls right over there, puts a clip on him, and moves on because he knows his team's going to pick that guy off before he can reload. Now, you don't want to get slammed by that hetzer, so he's going to wait, pull forward. Oh, somebody else got him. The power of spotting. And having a good team behind you that's going to shoot what you see. I should say not power. In this case, the joy of having a team behind you that is shooting what you see. Three Artys and a so far non-existent AMX ELC to go. He shoots and moves. The guy was short on his shot, and now he's going down next. He'll just close distance as he reloads. By the time he gets loaded, he'll be in nice and close where his shots will hit. Last Arty, origin half over. ELC's way far away, not in the equation. He's going to sneak up from behind on this 304. And one clip's going to take him out. He's going to wait, get in real close again. Here we go. Pascucci. And now just the Roach left. Let's go. Roach is trying to pick off the grill. So once again, he closes distance while he reloads. Ready to fire. He's not going to get a shot because of that little bump in the ground there. So he gives the Roach a little nudge to get some damage and then finishes him off with his clip. Almost anything can ram a Roach and not worry about it. In this battle, he ends up with 1,625 damage and 4 kills, 68 of 90 shooting, that's 71%, 1,556 assisted damage with 11 spots, 44,825 credits, and he got 2,259 XP, survived the fight, got a Pascucci and a Scout Medal, and then got Fighter, Spotter, Fire for Effect, and Bruiser mini medals. Battle score of 2,329 puts this battle into 13th place on the Luchs list. And you can see the difference there between having a good damaged fight and the previous mission where he had a real good spotting fight. You end up with those big spotting fights pay handsomely in terms of XPs and credits. So if you're looking for big missions, there's a little lesson in the comparison of the last two films we've shown. If you're on a good spotting map and you have a setup to where your team's picking things off for you, Don't blow it by shooting if it's going to expose you. Sit there, let them do the work, and you're going to be amply rewarded with both credits and XPs. But in this case, he was in a position where he could spot and snipe, and then as the battle unfolded, he was able to get aggressive and start going after tanks. He led the charge into the enemy's, where would it be, southwest flank, and that let him get all 3 Arty kills, and then pull up behind that AMX at the last, get a little ram to get a little extra damage that he needed, and then pump his clip into him and take him out for his 4th kill of the battle. This is the way you can play this map on offense if the enemy doesn't try to retaliate or counter you by going into this ramp area. This is the old style offense on Sand River, and it's something you should be aware of and be ready to do if you're unopposed in the middle. Because if you can come down in this area and set up as a scout and start spotting, you get to see enemy tanks from here all the way over to here, even back and into this area. So you have about a 180 degree coverage that yields lots of spots, and if you have a team that's ready to shoot them, it can it can power you forward to a relatively simple victory. The one caveat again being if the enemy moves up into this middle ramp, or you saw how the Cromwell was going to proxy spot them. So you have to be aware of tanks from here over to here. If they're in those areas, you have to be prepared to back off and get a little bit defensive until they're dealt with. The next thing is if tanks are on these forward ridges, then if you fire, they're going to see you. So you have to be prepared to fire and back up. Other than that, if there's nobody in those places, you can just sit up there and spot away and watch the damage pile up as your teammates love the fact they have a good scout that's giving them spots on their team. From Sand River Assault Offense, old school. Happy hunting.